Lisa Marie Williams stood in front of the big mirror in the church bathroom. Her white wedding dress looked perfect. The flowers in her hair were just right, but her hands were shaking. In 20 minutes, she would walk down the long aisle to marry Brad Peterson. She had known Brad for 3 years. They met at college and started dating right away. Lisa took a deep breath and tried to calm down. All brides get nervous, she told herself. This was normal. She picked up her phone to check the time. That was when she saw the text message from her friend Kelly. The message made her heart stop. Lisa, I am so sorry. I don't know how to tell you this. Brad is in the back room with Jenny. They are kissing. I saw them through the window. I am taking pictures as proof. I am so sorry. Lisa's hand started shaking even more. Jenny was her best friend since high school. Jenny was supposed to be her maid of honor. Lisa could not believe what she was reading. She ran out of the bathroom and down the hall to the back room. The door was not locked. She opened it slowly. There they were. Brad was holding Jenny close and kissing her. They did not see Lisa at first. Lisa stood there for a few seconds, watching them. Her heart felt like it was breaking into a million pieces. Finally, Brad saw her. His face turned white. Lisa, I can explain, Brad said quickly. Long? Lisa asked in a quiet voice. What do you mean? Brad tried to act like nothing was wrong. How long have you been with her? Lisa asked again. Jenny started crying. Lisa, please don't hate me. It just happened. We didn't mean for it to happen. How long? Lisa asked one. More time, her voice getting louder. Brad looked down at his shoes. 6 months, he said softly. Lisa felt like someone had punched her in the stomach. 6 months? Half a year? All the time she was planning their wedding, Brad was with her best friend. All the time she was excited about their future together, he was lying to her. All the time she thought they were happy, he was cheating on her. The wedding is in 15 minutes, Lisa said. All our friends and family are out there waiting. We can still get married, Brad said quickly. This thing with Jenny doesn't mean anything. I love you, Lisa. I want to marry you. Lisa looked at him like he was crazy. You'd think I would marry you after this? You'd think I would marry someone who lies to me and cheats on me? Lisa, please be reasonable, Brad said. We have already paid for everything. The church, the flowers, the dinner. Your parents spent so much money on this wedding. Lisa could not believe what she was hearing. Brad was worried about money. He was not sorry for hurting her. He was not sorry for lying to her. He just did not want to waste money. I would rather lose all the money than marry a liar, Lisa said. She turned around and ran out of the room. She could hear Brad calling her name, but she did not stop. She ran through the church and out the front door. All the wedding guests were surprised to see the bride running. Her cousin Mike tried to stop her, but she kept running. Lisa ran down the street in her white wedding dress. She did not know where she was going. She just knew she had to get away. From Brad and away from the church, people on the street stared at her as she ran by. A woman in a white dress running down the street was not something you saw every day. After running for 10 minutes, Lisa's feet started to hurt. Her wedding shoes were not made for running. She stopped and took them off. Now she was running in just her stockings. Ground was rough and hurt her feet, but she did not care. She just wanted to get as far away as possible. Lisa turned off the main street and ran into the woods. There was a small path that she remembered from when she was a child. She used to play in these woods with her brother. The path was hard to follow in a long wedding dress, but Lisa kept going. Branches caught her dress and tore it. Her hair came loose, and the flowers fell out. She ran for a long time through the woods. Her dress was dirty and torn. Her feet were bleeding from the rough ground, but she did not stop. She could not go back. She could not face all those people. She could not face her parents, who had spent so much money on the wedding. She could not face Brad and Jenny. Finally, Lisa could not run anymore. Her chest was hurting and she could not breathe well. She had been running for almost an hour. Could hear the sound of machines in the distance. As she got closer, she realized it was a sawmill. She had run all the way to the old sawmill outside of town. Lisa walked slowly toward the sawmill. Her legs felt like they could not hold her up anymore. She was so tired and so hurt. Everything that had happened felt like a bad dream. this morning. She woke up thinking she would be married by now. Instead, she was alone in the woods with a torn wedding dress. The sound of the sawmill was very loud. Men were working with big machines that cut wood. Lisa could see them through the fence. She did not know any of them. She sat down on a big rock near the entrance to the sawmill. She put her head in her hands and started to cry. All the hurt and anger came out at once. She cried for the 3 years she had wasted with Brad. She cried for losing her best friend Jenny. She cried for the embarrassment of running away from her own wedding. She cried because she felt so alone and so stupid for not seeing what was happening. The sun was getting low in the sky. Lisa realized she had been sitting there for a while. She was getting cold and her body was shaking. She had not eaten anything all day because she was too nervous about the wedding. Now she felt weak and dizzy. Lisa tried to stand up, but her legs would not work right. The world started to spin around her. She reached out to grab something to hold on to, but there was nothing there. Everything went black, and Lisa fell to the ground right in front of the sawmill entrance. The last thing she heard was the loud whistle that meant the workday was over. Jake Miller was walking toward the gate of the sawmill when he heard the whistle blow. Another long day was over. His back was sore from lifting heavy pieces of wood all day. His hands were dirty and rough from working with the machines. He felt good. He always felt good after a day of hard work. Jake was 32 years old and had worked at the sawmill for 8 years. He was not married and lived alone in a small cabin about a quarter-mile from the mill. He liked his simple life. He got up early, worked hard, came home tired, and slept well at night. Most of the other workers at the mill were married with children, but Jake was happy being alone. As Jake walked through the gate, something white caught his eye. At first he thought it was a big piece of paper or maybe a plastic bag that had blown against the fence. But when he looked closer, he saw it was a person. A woman in a white dress was lying on the ground near the entrance. Jake dropped his lunchbox and ran over to her. The woman was wearing a wedding dress, but it was dirty and torn. Her hair was messy, and there were leaves and small branches stuck in it. Her feet were bleeding, and she had no shoes on. She was not moving. Jake got down on his knees beside her and gently touched her shoulder. "Miss, are you okay?" he said softly. She did not answer. He put his ear close to her mouth and could hear her breathing. That was good. He checked her pulse by putting his fingers on her wrist. Her heart was beating, but it was very fast. Jake looked around to see if anyone else was there. Maybe someone was with her, or maybe someone had hurt her. But he did not see anyone. The other workers had already gone home. It was just him and this woman in the wedding dress. He knew he had to help her. She needed to get out of the cold air, and she needed water and food. Jake was a big man, strong from years of working with heavy wood. He carefully put one arm under her knees and the other arm behind her back. Then he lifted her up. She was lighter than he expected. Jake carried the woman toward his cabin. It was not far, but he walked slowly so he would not hurt her. Her head rested against his chest and her long hair fell over his arm. Even though her dress was dirty and her hair was messy, Jake could see that she was very pretty. He wondered what had happened to her and why she was alone. The cabin was small, but clean. Jake had built most of it himself with wood from the sawmill. It had 1 bedroom, a kitchen, a living room, and a bathroom. It was not fancy, but it was comfortable. Jake opened the door with his foot and carried the woman inside. He laid her down gently on his old couch, put a pillow under her head. Then he got a soft blanket from his bedroom and covered her with it. She was still not awake, but her breathing seemed better now that she was warm. Jake went to the kitchen and got a clean cloth. He wet it with cool water and came back to the couch. Very gently, he put the cool cloth on her forehead. His mother had done this for him when he was sick as a child. He hoped it would help the woman feel better. While he waited for her to wake up, Jake looked at her more closely. She was young, maybe in her 20s. Her wedding dress was expensive looking, even though it was torn and dirty. Her hands were soft, not like the hands of someone who did hard work. She wore a small gold bracelet and tiny gold earrings. Someone who cared about her had bought her nice things. Jake wondered if she had run away from her wedding. Maybe she got scared and decided she did not want to get married. Or maybe something bad had happened at the wedding. He'd heard of brides running away before, but he had never seen one himself. After about 10 minutes, the woman started to move. First, her fingers moved a little. Then she turned her head to the side. Finally, her eyes opened slowly. At first, she looked confused, like she did not know where she was, and she saw Jake sitting in a chair near the couch, and she looked scared. "It's okay," Jake said in a quiet voice. "You are safe. I found you outside the sawmill. You were not awake, so I brought you to my house." The woman tried to sit up, but she moved too fast and felt dizzy. Jake stood up quickly and helped her lie back down. "Take it slow," he said. "You have been through something hard. Your feet are hurt, and you look like you have not eaten today." The woman looked down at her torn wedding dress and then back at Jake. Her eyes filled with tears, but she did not cry. "Where am I?" she asked. Her voice was soft and a little rough. "You are in my cabin," Jake said. "I work at the sawmill. Found you outside when I was going home. My name is Jake Miller." "I'm Lisa," she said. "Lisa Williams." She looked around the small cabin. It was clean and simple. There were no expensive things, but everything looked like it was taken care of. "Thank you for helping me." "You don't need to thank me," Jake said. "Anyone would have done the same thing." "You hurt anywhere besides your feet?" Lisa thought about it. Her body was sore from running so far, but nothing was really hurt. "I think I'm okay," she said. "Just tired and hungry." "When did you last eat?" Jake asked. Lisa tried to remember. "Yesterday night, I think. I was too nervous to eat this morning." As soon as she said it, she remembered why she had been nervous. The wedding, Brad, Jenny, everything came back to her at once. Jake saw the sad look on her face. "You don't have to tell me what happened," he said, "but you need to eat something. Let me make you some food." Jake went to the kitchen and started. Looking through his cabinets, did not have much fancy food, but he had the basics. He found a can of chicken soup and some bread. He heated the soup on his old stove and cut 2 thick pieces of bread. When the food was ready, Jake helped Lisa sit up on the couch. He put a small table in front of her and set down a bowl of soup and a plate with bread and butter. "This is very kind of you," Lisa said. "I don't know how to repay you." "You don't need to repay me," Jake said. "Just eat and get your strength back." Lisa took a spoonful of soup. It tasted better than any soup she had ever had. She was so hungry, and the warm food felt good in her stomach. Jake sat in his chair and watched her eat. He did not ask any questions. He just wanted to make sure she was okay. For the first time since she had seen Brad and Jenny together, Lisa felt safe. After Lisa finished eating, she felt much better. The warm soup had given her energy, and the bread had filled her empty stomach. Jake took the empty bowl and plate to the kitchen and washed them in the sink. Lisa watched him move around his small kitchen. He was careful with everything he did, like someone who lived alone and took care of himself. Jake came back and sat in his chair. He looked at Lisa with kind eyes. "Do you feel better now?" he asked. "Yes, much better," Lisa said. "Thank you for the food, and thank you for helping me. I don't know what would have happened if you had not found me." Jake nodded. "I'm glad I was there." He paused for a moment. "You don't have to tell me anything if you don't want to. But if you need to talk, I'm a good listener." Lisa looked down at her torn wedding dress. She had been trying not to think about what happened, but she could not avoid it forever. Maybe it would help to tell someone who did not know Brad or Jenny or her family. "I was supposed to get married today," Lisa said slowly, "to a man named Brad. We were together for 3 years. Thought he loved me." Jake waited for her to continue, did not ask questions or try to rush her. "Right before the wedding, I found him with my best friend. They were kissing. He told me they had been together for 6 months. Lisa's voice got quiet. "I ran away. I could not marry him after that." "I'm sorry," Jake said. "That must have been very hard." Lisa looked up. At Jake, his face showed real concern. I felt so stupid. How could I not know? Could I not see that he was lying to me?" "Sometimes people are good at hiding things," Jake said. "That doesn't make you stupid, but that makes him a liar." Lisa had not expected Jake to understand so well. Brad's friends had always made excuses for him when he did something wrong. They would say things like boys will be boys or he didn't mean it. But Jake was different. He saw things clearly. "Have you ever been married?" Lisa asked. Jake shook his head. No, but I was engaged once 2 years ago. Her name was Carol. We were planning to get married in the spring. What happened? Lisa asked Jake. Was quiet for a moment. He did not usually talk about Carol with anyone, but something about Lisa made him want to share his story. Carol decided she wanted a different kind of life, Jake said. She wanted to live in the city and have expensive things. She wanted a husband who wore a suit to work, not someone who worked with his hands. She met a man who was a lawyer, had a lot of money, and could give her the life she wanted. That must have hurt, Lisa said. It did, Jake admitted.
But
looking back, I think we wanted different things. She wanted money and status. I wanted a simple life with someone who would be happy with what we could build together. Lisa nodded. She understood exactly what Jake meant. Dad cared a lot about what other people thought. He always wanted to go to the fanciest restaurants and buy the most expensive clothes. I thought it was because he wanted to make me happy. But now I think it was because he wanted people to think he was successful. What do you want? Jake asked. Not what Brad wanted or what your family wants. What do you want? Lisa had never been asked that question before. She thought about it for a moment. I want to be happy. I want to wake up every day next to someone who loves me for who I am, not for how I look or what I can give them. I want to have a job that matters. I want to help people. What kind of work do you do? Jake asked. I'm a teacher, Lisa said. I teach second grade at the elementary school in town. I love working with the children. They're so honest and sweet. They don't care if you have expensive clothes or a fancy car. They just want someone who cares about them. Jake smiled. That sounds like important work. What about you? Lisa asked. Do you like working at the sawmill? I do, Jake said. I like working with my hands. I like building things. Yes. Every day I help turn trees into wood that will be used to build houses where families will live. It feels good to do work that matters. Lisa looked around the cabin again. Now she noticed details she had missed before. The kitchen table was made of beautiful wood and looked handmade. The shelves on the wall were perfectly straight and smooth. The window frames were carved with small decorative patterns. Did you make these things? She asked, pointing to the table. Jake looked a little embarrassed. Some of them. I'd like to work with wood in my free time too. It relaxes me. They're beautiful, Lisa said. You're very talented. Thank you, Jake said. Most people don't notice things like that. Lisa stood up from the couch and walked over to look at the shelves more closely. Her feet still hurt, but she could walk. The wood was smooth and perfect. Every joint was tight and clean. Someone had spent a lot of time and care making these shelves. Carol never liked my woodworking, Jake said. She said it was messy and took up too much time. She wanted me to get a job that paid more money, even if I didn't like the work. That's sad, Lisa said. You should do work that makes you happy. Life is too short to spend it doing things you hate. Jake watched Lisa as she looked at his work. She seemed to really appreciate the craftsmanship. Her fingers touched the wood gently, like she understood how much care had gone into making it. Do you have any hobbies? Jake asked. Lisa sat back down on the couch. I like to read, and I like to garden. I have a small garden behind my apartment where I grow vegetables and flowers. There's something peaceful about working in the dirt and watching things grow. I have a garden too, Jake said. Nothing fancy, just some tomatoes and peppers and herbs. And my mother gave me some flower seeds last spring. I wasn't sure I could grow flowers, but they turned out pretty well. I would like to see your garden, Lisa said. It's too dark now, but maybe tomorrow morning if you're still here, Jake said. Then he realized what he had said. I mean, you can stay as long as you need to. I don't want you to feel like you have to leave. Lisa smiled. It was the first real smile she had smiled all day. Thank you. I don't have anywhere else to go right now. I can't go back to my apartment because Brad has a key. I can't go to my parents' house because they will ask too many questions. I just need some time to think about what to do next. You can stay here as long as you want, Jake said. I have extra blankets and pillows. You can sleep on the couch. Or I can sleep on the couch and you can have my bed. The couch is fine, Lisa said. You have already done so much for me. As they talked, Lisa noticed that Jake was easy to be with. He did not try to impress her or show off, did not make her feel like she had to be someone she was not. With Brad, she had always felt like she was performing, trying to be the perfect girlfriend. With Jake, she could just be herself. Jake noticed the same thing about Lisa. She was not like Carol, who always wanted attention and compliments. Lisa was genuine and kind. She asked questions about his work and his life because she was really interested, not because she was trying to be polite. Outside, it was getting dark. Jake turned on a lamp in the living room. The warm light made the cabin feel cozy and safe. Lisa pulled the blanket around her shoulders and settled back into the couch. For the first time in hours, she felt relaxed. As the night went on, Lisa and Jake kept talking. Neither of them felt tired. It started as strangers, but now they felt like old friends. The small cabin felt warm and comfortable with the lamp glowing softly in the corner. Jake made some coffee and brought 2 cups to the living room. Lisa wrapped her hands around the warm cup and took a small sip. It was strong and hot, just the way she liked it. "Tell me about your dreams," Lisa said. "What do you want to do with your life?" Jake sat in his chair and thought about the question. Not many people asked him about his dreams. Most people thought that working at a sawmill meant he had no big plans for the future. "I want to buy some land," Jake said. "Maybe 20 or 30 acres. I want to build a house with my own hands, using wood from trees I cut down myself. I want to have a big garden and maybe some chickens. I want to wake up every morning and look out at land that belongs to me." Lisa could see the excitement in Jake's eyes as he talked about his dream. "That sounds wonderful. How long have you been saving for it?" "About 5 years now," Jake said. "I put away half of everything I earn. I don't spend money on things I don't need. I've almost enough saved up to buy the land I want." "Where is this land?" Lisa asked. "About 10 miles north of here. It's owned by an old farmer named Mr. Peterson. He's getting too old to work the land and his children don't want it. He said he would sell it to me when I have enough money." Lisa smiled. "It's nice that you know exactly what you want and you're working toward it. A lot of people just talk about their dreams but never do anything to make them happen." "What about you?" Jake asked. "What are your dreams?" Lisa was quiet for a moment. She had dreams, but she had never told anyone about them, not even Brad. "Want to start a school?" she said finally. "A small school for children who live in rural areas where they don't have access to good education. I want to teach them reading and writing and math, but also practical things like gardening and cooking and how to fix things. I want to show them that learning can be fun." Jake leaned forward in his chair. "That's a beautiful dream. Have you thought about how you would do it?" "I've thought about it a lot," Lisa said. "I would need to find a place with enough space for classrooms and a garden. I would need to get permission from the state and find families who want to send their children there. It would be a lot of work, but I think it would be worth it." "It sounds like something the world needs," Jake said. "Children in small towns don't always get the same opportunities as children in big cities." Lisa was surprised by how much Jake understood her dream. Brad had always said her idea was silly and that she should just be happy with her regular teaching job. "Brad thought it was a waste of time," Lisa said. "I should focus on making more money instead of trying to help poor children." Shook his head. "That's not right. Money is important, but helping others is more important. What good is having money if you don't use it to make the world better?" Lisa felt her heart warm at Jake's words. Here was a man who understood what really mattered in life. "What would your perfect day look like?" Lisa asked. Jake smiled. "I would wake up early in my own house on my own land. I would drink coffee on my front porch and watch the sun come up. Then I would work in my garden, maybe build something with my hands. In the evening, I would sit on the porch again and watch the sun go down. And I would share all of this with someone I love." "That sounds perfect," Lisa said. "Simple but perfect." "What about you?" Jake asked. "I would wake up in a house surrounded by trees and flowers. I would have breakfast with someone who makes me laugh. Then I would go to my school and teach children who are excited to learn. In the evening, I would come home and cook dinner with vegetables from my own garden. And I would end the day reading a book next to someone who loves me for who I am." And Lisa looked at each other across the small living room. They both realized that their dreams were very similar. They both wanted simple, meaningful lives filled with work they cared about and love that was real. "Can I ask you something?" Lisa said. "Of course," Jake replied. "Why did you help me today? You don't know me?" Could have been dangerous or crazy. Why did you bring me to your home? Jake thought about her question. I guess I helped you because it was the right thing to do. When I saw you lying there, I didn't think about whether it was safe or smart. I just knew you needed help. My parents taught me to help people when they need it. Tell me about your parents, Lisa said. They live about 50 miles from here on a small farm. My dad taught me how to work with wood and how to fix things. My mom taught me how to cook and take care of myself. They've been married for 3 years and they still hold hands when they walk together. Lisa smiled. They sound wonderful. They are. They taught me that the most important things in life are family, hard work, and treating people with kindness. They would like you. How do you know? Lisa asked. Because you're kind and you care about others. Those are the things my parents value most. Lisa felt tears in her eyes, but they were good tears. I would like to meet them someday. Jake felt his heart skip a beat. Lisa was talking about the future, about meeting his parents. That meant she was thinking about staying in his life. Lisa, Jake said softly. Can I tell you something? She said. I know we just met today, and I know you're going through a hard time. But I need you to know that you're the most amazing woman I've ever met. You're beautiful, but more than that, you're good. You have a kind heart, and you care about things that matter. Lisa felt her cheeks turn red. Jake, I'm not asking you for anything, Jake said quickly. I just wanted you to know that Brad is a fool for letting you go. Any man would be lucky to have you in his life. Lisa stood up from the couch and walked over to where Jake was sitting. She knelt down beside his chair and took his hand in hers. Jake, she said, I need you to know something too. Today has been the worst day of my life, but it has also been one of the best. You saved me, not just from being hurt or cold, but from feeling like I was worthless. You showed me that there are still good men in the world. Men who are honest and kind and strong. Jake looked into Lisa's eyes. They were brown and warm and full of emotion. I feel like I've been waiting my whole life to meet you, Lisa said. I know that sounds crazy because we just met, but it's true. I feel more comfortable with you than I ever felt with Brad, even after 3 years. Jake gently squeezed her hand. I feel the same way. I never believed in love at first sight until today. They sat there looking at each other as the clock on the wall ticked softly. Outside, the night was quiet except for the sound of crickets and the wind in the trees. Lisa, Jake said, I know you need time to figure out your life. I don't want to pressure you or make things complicated, but I want you to know that I'm here for you, whatever you need. Lisa felt her heart fill with something she had never felt before. It was stronger than the love she thought she felt for Brad. It was deeper and more real. What if I don't want to figure out my life somewhere else? Lisa said. What if I want to figure it out here with you? Jake's eyes widened. Do you mean that? I mean it, Lisa said. I know it's fast, and I know it's crazy, but I feel like this is where I belong, here with you. Through the window, they could see the first light of dawn beginning to appear in the sky. They had talked all night. Without even noticing, the sun was coming up on a new day, and both of them felt like they were starting a new life. As the sun came up over the trees, Jake and Lisa sat together on his front porch. Jake had given Lisa one of his old shirts and a pair of his sweatpants to wear. Her torn wedding dress was folded up in a bag. She never wanted to see it again. The morning air was cool and fresh. Birds were singing in the trees, and the sky was turning from dark blue to pink and orange. Lisa had never seen anything so beautiful. Or maybe everything looked beautiful because she was happy for the first time in a long time. I can't believe I was supposed to be married right now, Lisa said. If everything had gone as planned, Brad and I would be eating breakfast at the hotel before going on our honeymoon. Do you regret running away? Jake asked. Lisa thought about it. No. Even if I had never met you, I would not regret it. I could never have been happy with Brad after what he did. But meeting you makes me feel like everything happened for a reason. Reached over and took her hand. I feel the same way. If you had not run away, if you had not collapsed in front of the sawmill, if I had left work 5 minutes earlier or later, we never would have met. Do you really think we can make this work? Lisa asked. People will think we're crazy. We've only known each other for one night. Let them think what they want. Jake said. I know how I feel about you. I know that you're the woman I want to spend my life with. Time doesn't change that. Lisa smiled and squeezed his hand. I feel the same way. But we need to be practical. I need to go back to town and deal with everything I left behind. I need to get my things from my apartment. I need to talk to my boss at the school. I need to tell my parents what happened. I'll come with you, Jake said. You don't have to face all of that alone. What about your job? Lisa asked. I'll talk. To my boss? I have vacation days saved up. This is more important than work. Lisa felt grateful to have Jake by her side. She had been dreading the thought of going back to town and facing everyone's questions and judgment. What will you tell people when they ask about us? Lisa asked. I'll tell them the truth, Jake said. I'll tell them that I met an amazing woman who needed help, and I fell in love with her. I'll tell them that sometimes the best things in life happen when you least expect them. After breakfast, Jake and Lisa drove to town in his old pickup truck. Lisa's apartment was in a small building near the school where she worked. She was nervous about seeing Brad, but Jake promised to stay with her. When they got to the apartment building, Brad's car was parked outside. Lisa's heart started beating fast. He's here, she said to Jake. Do you want me to go up with you? Jake asked. Yes, please, Lisa said. I don't want to be alone with him. They walked up the stairs to Lisa's apartment. The door was unlocked. Brad was sitting on the couch with his head in his hands. When he saw Lisa, he jumped up. Lisa, thank God you're okay, Brad said. I've been looking for you all night. I was so worried. This is Jake, Lisa said, not answering Brad's question. He helped me when I needed help. Brad looked at Jake with suspicion. Oh, Jake was bigger than Brad and looked like he could take care of himself. Brad did not like having another man in what he thought of as his territory. Lisa, we need to talk, Brad said. Alone, Lisa said firmly. Jake stays. Oh. Anything you have to say to me, you can say in front of him. Brad looked angry, but he knew he was not in a position to make demands. Lisa, I made a mistake. Sorry about what happened with Jenny. It didn't mean anything. I love you and I want to marry you. It's too late for that, Lisa said. I could never trust you again, but we can work this out, Brad said. We can go to counseling. We can start over. Lisa shook her head. Brad, it's over. I'm with Jake now. Brad looked shocked. You've known him for one day. You can't be serious. I'm completely serious, Lisa said. Jake is a good man. He's honest and kind, and he treats me with respect. He's everything you're not. Brad's face turned red with anger. You're making a mistake, Lisa. This guy is nobody. He works at a sawmill. He can't give you the life I can give you. Jake stepped forward. His voice was calm, but firm. The life you were giving her included lying and cheating. I may not have a lot of money, but I know how to treat a woman right. Brad looked like he wanted to fight, but he could see that Jake was stronger than him. Instead, he turned back to Lisa. Fine, Brad said, but when you come to your senses and realize you made a mistake, don't come crying to me. I won't, Lisa said, because I'm not making a mistake. Brad grabbed his jacket and stormed out of the apartment, slamming the door behind him. Lisa sat down on the couch and let out a long breath. That was harder than I thought it would be. Jake sat down beside her and put his arm around her. You did great. You were strong and clear about what you wanted. Lisa leaned into Jake's embrace. Now I need to pack my things and figure out what to do about my job. It took Lisa 2 hours to pack everything she wanted to keep.
Oh, Jake.
Jake helped her carry boxes down to his truck. As they worked, Lisa's neighbor, Mrs. Johnson, came out to see what was happening. Lisa, dear, are you moving out? Mrs. Johnson asked. Yes, I am, Lisa said. I'm starting a new life. Mrs. Johnson looked at Jake curiously. Get it, who is this handsome young man? This is Jake, Lisa said with a smile. He's the man I'm going to marry. Jake looked at Lisa with surprise and joy. She had not said anything about marriage before, but hearing her say it made his heart sing. Mrs. Johnson clapped her hands together. How wonderful. When is the wedding? Lisa looked at Jake and laughed. We haven't figured that out yet. But when we do, you'll be the first to know. After they finished packing, Lisa and Jake drove to the school where she worked. Lisa needed to To talk to the principal about taking some time off to figure out her future. Principal Williams was understanding when Lisa explained what had happened. "Take all the time you need," she said. "Your job will be here when you're ready to come back. Unless, of course, you decide to start that rural school you've always talked about." Lisa smiled. "You never know. That might just happen." On the drive back to Jake's cabin, Lisa felt lighter than she had in years. All her belongings were in the back of Jake's truck. She had quit her old life and was ready to start a new one. "Jake," she said as they pulled into his driveway, "when I told Mrs. Johnson we were going to get married, I wasn't just saying that to shock her. I meant it." Jake stopped the truck and turned to look at her. "Are you proposing to me?" Lisa laughed. "I guess I am." "Jake Miller, will you marry me?" Jake leaned over and kissed her gently. "Yes, Lisa Williams, I will marry you. But next time, I want to be the one who proposes." "Deal," Lisa said, as they sat in the truck looking at the cabin that would now be their home. Lisa thought about how much her life had changed in just 24 hours. Yesterday, she was engaged to a man who didn't love her. Today, she was with a man who loved her completely. Yesterday, she felt lost and confused. Today, she felt like she had found her purpose. "Jake," she said, "let's get married soon." "I don't." "Want to wait? How soon?" Jake asked. "Next month," Lisa said. "A small wedding with just our families and close friends. Nothing fancy, just real." Jake smiled. "That sounds perfect, just like you." Lisa looked at the man beside her and knew with complete certainty that she had made the right choice. Sometimes, the worst day of your life could turn into the best day of your life. Sometimes you had to lose everything to find what you were really looking for. And sometimes love came when you least expected it, in the most unexpected way. 6 months later, Lisa and Jake were married in a small church ceremony. Lisa wore a simple white dress and carried flowers from Jake's garden. Her parents cried tears of joy when they saw how happy their daughter was. Jake's parents welcomed Lisa into their family with open arms. Jake bought the land from Mr. Peterson and started building their dream house. Lisa opened her rural school in an old farmhouse on their property. Children from miles around came to learn reading and writing and math and gardening and life skills. Every morning, Lisa and Jake woke up in their own house on their own land. They drank coffee on their front porch and watched the sun come up. Every evening, they sat on the same porch and watched the sun go down. And they shared all of this with each other, just like Jake had dreamed. People in town still talked about how Lisa ran away from her wedding and married a sawmill worker the next month. Some people said she was crazy, but Lisa and Jake didn't care what people said. They knew they had found something rare and precious. They had found real love, the kind that lasts forever.